live right now. We're live on the internet. Hello. Welcome to Kickin' It with Matthew, or as some of us here like to call it,
Matthew's Monday Musings.
Matthew's Monday Musings. Welcome to another edition of Matthew's Monday Musings. I'm right here on the internet live with you as well. Matthew is not.
Wait a minute. Andy's afternoon advice.
It's cool, except you're giving the advice. So it's really Andy's afternoon answers. Well,
okay.
I like the 3M. The 3M has a little more, flavor to it. Hey, welcome, Pastor Matthew. Welcome.
Thank you, Pastor Andy.
Absolutely. We're joined in the studio by Andre Aquino.
Hello.
David Alonso.
Hello.
He just shook his head. And Austin Slade. I don't know how to spice up his name. Sorry, Austin. Slade, yeah. If you joined us live yesterday from right here in the studio as well, Austin Slade joined us for our openings as well. So he did part of our pregame.
Nice.
We're slowly grooming him. We got to raise up the next generation, you know? That's how it works.
How do you groom him without completely diluting the quality of our online ministry, though?
This has been Matthew's Monday Musings.
I love you, Austin. I love you.
I think that was a shot, but also a compliment. Anyway, welcome. Like I said, I'm also live right here on the internet. If you have any questions, let us know. We've got a bunch of people watching with us. We've got Adriana, we've got Judy, we've got Diane, we've got Donna here, we've got Romalie. This is called Facebook.
Okay. Didn't know if it was Facebook or YouTube or
Facebook.
Okay.
And Austin over there is live with us on YouTube as well.
Or
no, we're not doing
MySpace
the Instagram.
or
Friendster.
Friendster.
Zynga,
Did you say
yeah.
Romalie?
Romalie's on with us as well.
Romalie.
And so's Tammy Gonzalez. We've got a lot of people on with us right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a ton. Hey, so this is our Matthew Kicking It with Matthew, my goodness. And before we get going, I have to confess, I'm wearing this hat and I'm looking at myself. I look real stupid right now. One thing they don't tell you.
It's not just the hat, brother.
Touche. One thing they don't tell you about these hats is that when you don't have hair to hide it from whatever, it's super itchy. I feel like I just want to claw my scalp off right now. So be glad, all you out there, all you hairists that have hair out there, that you're not afflicted with this whole thing.
Wow, that was a complete little
non sequitur.
rabbit hole.
Non sequitur is what we call it.
I have no segue for that.
That's my job. I'm the one that segues. Speaking of Christmas and wearing dumb things like this, Matthew, yesterday as you opened your message, you actually showed off a bunch of nativity sets, which I thought was great. We actually have a post on our Facebook group right now, in our online campus Facebook group. Now it's shedding. In our online campus Facebook group that was started by our good friend Patty out in New Mexico. And she has requested that everybody start posting their nativity sets based off of that. Cool. I thought it was amazing. So thanks for that inspiration. But what is, in that vein, what's your favorite, or maybe give me like a top 2 or top 3 favorite Christmas traditions, since we're in the season, you know?
It involves one word: cinnamon.
Okay.
Cinnamon.
Okay.
Every morning, December 25th, before anything else happens in the house, and this was when our girls were little, now they're 32 and 29, it still happens the same way. I'm responsible to make a batch of Pillsbury cinnamon rolls.
Okay. I like where this is headed.
That has to happen first thing. Then, later in the day, after the presents and we're getting ready for the meal, I have to, with the girls, make a batch of marshmallow croissant cinnamon roll thing. It's a you use the Pillsbury croissant stuff just out of the
tube,
can,
right?
The tube.
Yeah.
And you take marshmallows, you dip them in butter, roll them in cinnamon sugar, roll them up in the croissant in like these little, you seal all the edges. Then you take that and roll it in butter and roll it in cinnamon sugar.
You and Ina Garten should have a cooking show.
Yeah. Everything involves butter.
Well,
so then you pop that in the oven and they come out as these little nuggets of heavenly manna.
Oh.
And every single Christmas since I was a little kid, my mom made that.
Oh, man.
So now we've made it since the girls were born and have made it for the past 32 years.
Jenna, my wife, is watching right now. I just saw her log on. Tammy just said us too. Jenna's watching, so just be advised, Jenna. I would like to try these this Christmas. That sounds amazing.
I'll tell you exactly how to do it tomorrow. You know what happens tomorrow?
You're getting your hair cut.
Jenna, you cut my hair tomorrow.
Hey, all right, welcome. That's great.
Get ready to tame this beautiful mane.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
again, she doesn't have to tame him at home, so that's fine. Thanks, Andre. That's great, buddy. In the vein of that, actually, in the vein of the Christmas things, it's funny. We have always done the cinnamon rolls as well, but I'm noticing a simple undercurrent with you in holiday traditions,
Okay.
and that's marshmallows. Are you
That's right.
are you a
Thanksgiving
marshmallow?
was the marshmallow,
Yeah.
which I did great.
I saw that picture.
I sent you a photo.
Yep, I saw the picture.
As it was happening, Thanksgiving Day, of the marshmallows getting just perfectly toasty brown on top of the sweet potato casserole. I aced it.
He did good. He got an A+. Yeah, he got an A+. I will say though, Matthew is turning into an influencer, a vlogger, if you will, with some of the pictures that we see. It's just him with like thumbs ups and all these other things. So I'd watch that vlog. I would.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So we could follow you around for a couple
I'll
days.
become a YouTuber.
There you go. Cool.
okay.
On that note as well, in YouTube and everything, yesterday, if you joined us, we were in week 2 of Good News, Great Joy. I love the series. Obviously, Christmas has a big thing, and Pastor Julie the week before kicked us off with kind of the overall theme of hope that is found in Christmas. And you went back to the beginning of the story. You went back really to the first part of the Jesus narrative with Zechariah and Elizabeth,
Right.
and with John the Baptist, kind of the foretelling of John the Baptist and all that. What, in your preparations and all that, what was something that you had to leave on the cutting room floor? What was something that you couldn't get to yesterday?
Sure. One of the great elements of that whole Zechariah Elizabeth narrative in Luke chapter 1 involves their names. And a lot of folks who may not do maybe some deeper word studies on this may not realize that the name Zechariah in Hebrew literally means the Lord remembers. And Elizabeth, or Elisheva, if you're a Hebrew-speaking person, Elisheva, from which we get Elizabeth, that name in Hebrew means the oath of God's abundance. And so their names are literally the actual fulfillment of the prophecy and miracle that was brought to them in the conception of John the Baptist in her womb and the ultimate delivery. Because in that passage that we actually looked at, there's a phrase where the angel Gabriel says to Zechariah, "The Lord has heard your prayers." He knows you've been praying, to conceive a child with your wife Elizabeth, and he remembers that. The Lord remembers. That's his actual name, Zechariah. And here's poor Elisheva, who's been barren, which is a great stigma to have in the ancient Middle East and in the ancient Judaic culture, and of abandonment, not abundance, of barrenness, not bounty. But her name literally means the oath of God's abundance. And finally, that happens. So their names converge together to actually tell the story for what unfolds.
Interesting. So, we were, Austin and I were back here talking actually yesterday about Elisheva, and I had misheard, and I thought it was Elisheba. And so I started drawing a word to like, oh man, not Queen of Sheba, but like let's talk about Bathsheba, and let's talk about like, oh man, is this a redemption of all that? So that's very interesting to hear. When you move to John the Baptist, the description in Luke 1 of John the Baptist is that he is a Nazirite. He takes the Nazirite vow, and he is never to cut his hair, never to drink alcohol, never to have things from a dead carcass. Is that
There's a whole deal with Nazirite vows.
I lose the plot there. Jesus never had to take the Nazirite vow. Is that correct? Like I never saw any of that given to him.
No.
So what was, do you know any? And this is like we didn't ask to prep this. This is just me thinking this. Is there any rationale as to why that would be? Why John the Baptist would have to take the Nazirite vow and not Jesus?
There's nothing explicitly written about it in Scripture, but Jesus references it when he talks about the fickleness or the hypocrisy of the crowd, particularly the Pharisees and the critics that he had. He talks about, hey, John the Baptist came, total prude. I mean, just like,
Boring dude. Hate
obeying all the
bugs.
rules and no strong drink, anything like that. And, you just like threw him under the bus. He says, here I come, and yes, I imbibe. Of course, he, never did so to being drunk. Bible says, to be sober and such. And I go to parties with sinners and, I do all this stuff. So you criticize him for that. You criticize me for the other end of the spectrum. And so there's no pleasing you. And he told a whole little parable about kids and their games, and it's a whole different, message. And that's really the only time it's referenced, is that here I come without any of these Nazirite type practices and vows. Here's John the Baptist, who was completely strict about all that stuff, and it doesn't matter to you because all you care about is your own little control, your own little agenda, rather than God's inbreaking of his kingdom. So that's really the only reference that's made to the distinction between John the Baptist and really his cousin, if you will, Jesus.
Interesting.
Mary and Elizabeth were related.
Right. Yeah, and I'd never put two and two together. The kind of moment when Zechariah can start talking again after John the Baptist is born. You never see anything else of Zechariah, obviously, in the New Testament. You never see anything else about his story or anything like that. Is his service done? Like, what do we ever know? Do we ever really have to follow that thread?
No, not post birth. However, there is another part of it in Luke chapter 1. Just like after Gabriel visits Mary, and Mary then goes to visit Elizabeth, and then following that visit, she gives what's known as the Magnificat.
Yes.
And Handel put it to music in the Messiah, and other composers have dealt with it. There's also the same from Zechariah. Following that, Zechariah gives his prophecy, his beautiful Magnificat, if you will. And I'm going to be actually touching base on that on the message for December 27th, in the last of this Christmas series, in Luke 1, 78 through 79. That's part of this passage of Zechariah's prophecy once his mouth opens. And it's a beautiful passage of Scripture.
That's called a set, and that was allowing you to spike that. That's how we do things here. Real quick, this is our last one of these before Christmas Eve. I know it's like crazy that we're already thinking about Christmas Eve and all of that other stuff. Anything you can tell us about Christmas Eve here at Lakeshore? Any kind of sneak peeks or anything?
Get here.
Okay.
Get here.
Get here.
When's here?
When is here? Yeah.
Yes.
What times are here?
Well, this year we've expanded. So we're doing Christmas Eve on the 23rd. Jesus just gets born a little early, okay? And we're doing December 24th. You can find all the times and all the details on bayup.com. David, what do they click? Is it actual like top of page home site?
Featured banner. They can click learn more, and they can click to serve and volunteer on both those days.
Right. You can worship one and work one. That'd be great because we want to put the towel over our arm and serve the community. You realize that a lot of folks who might not have ever experienced Bayhub before, they'll come for the first time on Christmas Eve.
Sure.
In fact, in today's culture, Easter is not so much of a time where people might first check out church. That ship has sailed culturally. But Christmas Eve is still a time in our culture where folks who have no connection to the church, no relationship with Jesus Christ, they will potentially come to a Christmas Eve candlelight service, particularly if they've been invited. So we'd love to, roll out the red carpet of hospitality that the Bible talks about. So we'd love for you to help us out. Serve in the parking lot, serve in the lobby, serve in the children's ministry area. And all of that is on bayup.com, clicking on Christmas Eve. You'll see the times, you'll see the serving opportunities, you'll see all the details about that. So help us out. Help us reach some people.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lakeshore here on the 23rd, right here. I say here, if you know where we are. In the studio at Lakeshore on the 23rd at 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern, on the 24th at 4, 6, 8, and 11. And online for all of those, and at our West Chase campus at 4, 6, and 11 on Christmas Eve. Like Pastor Matthew said, everything's available, bayhope.com. hit the Christmas Eve button, and you can go there to sign up to serve, to just be there. And also, you can sign up to grab a take-home, at-home Christmas tote bag right
That's
there.
pretty cool. Christmas grab bag.
Christmas grab bag, complete with candles. We don't have any insurance waivers if people burn stuff at their house, so don't burn stuff at your house with candles that we provide, please. Like, that's just a common thing. Yeah, that's the McDonald's hot coffee thing.
But
No,
you
thank
will be making cinnamon rolls for everybody who attends either campus.
COVID-free cinnamon rolls. If you join us online, I will send them digitally to you. It's going to be a joyous time. You can join me and Pastor Austin for just a rip-roaring good time here online as well. Hey, we're going to rip-roaring. We're going to close up Kicking It with Matthew, or Matthew's Monday Musings moment, minutes of Monday right here. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for joining us, everybody, online. We look forward to any comments, any questions you may have. Yeah,